Attending one of the oldest military traditions today as we gather for Balpreet Singh Randhawa's commissioning as a Civil Engineer Corps officer in the United States Navy Reserve. Joining me on stage today is Master Chief Retired Michael Sanguinet, Balpreet's friend and colleague from his time in the shipyard. Thank you for making the trip up. I'd also like to welcome Captain Hill, our Program Manager at PMS 394, Ms. Nash, our Deputy Program Manager, as well as Balpreet Singh Randhawa's other colleagues, friends, and especially all of his family for being here today. The commissioning of officers has a long history and can be traced back to the Roman Empire. In the Middle Ages, sovereigns would offer noblemen commissions to raise armies to protect the realm. The commission was a lawful extension of sovereign power. The granting of commissions became more commonplace under the British Empire. After the American War for Independence, the Continental Congress recognized the need to continue the practice. Ultimately, our Congress creates the office to which the President nominates an officer. Once the Congress approves the appointment, the President grants the officer the commission. Commissioning is done to ensure the President is fully accountable for what the military does in defense of our nation, and this is why officers serve at the pleasure of the President. Now, as far as Balpreet Singh, this has been quite the journey for him. Balpreet Singh was born in 1992 in Falls Church, Virginia. He went on ultimately to attend George Mason University, where he earned his degree in electrical engineering. At a job fair, he came across a recruiting booth for Norfolk Naval Shipyard, manned by a bunch of salty, overworked at times, proud Americans, taking care of and maintaining our nation's nuclear fleet. This hit all of his desires. His desire and interest in the nuclear propulsion field, his desire for service to the country, and his desire to be a technical and engineering professional. Now, Balpreet Singh comes from a culture of military service, and this was a perfect segue for him to serve his nation, although he harbored desires of joining the uniform service all throughout. His family represents this service as well. His sister Jasmine, who is here today, served proudly in the U.S. Air Force, as well as he has many family members that served their armed forces throughout the centuries. Now, after 5 years at the shipyard, where he qualified as a naval nuclear engineer, and whose shipmates from that time are here today, to 3 years now in DC at NAVC, Balpreet Singh has continued his pursuit in military service, and we are here today to bring a culmination to that dream by commissioning him. On a personal note, Balpreet Singh is a trailblazer for the U.S. Navy, and specifically the Civil Engineer Corps, by becoming the first American of the Sikh faith, not only in the shipyard where he started his career, but now as a soon-to-be commissioned officer in the U.S. Navy Reserve. Balpreet Singh is joining a community with a long history, the U.S. Navy Civil Engineer Corps and Seabees. We have our traditions historically in building our Navy's shipyards and docks, but we also gather a lot of pride in our fighting spirit as Seabees, constructing and paving the path through the Pacific Island chains in World War II, building the platform for our soldiers, sailors, and Marines to prosecute the fight in the Pacific and ultimately win that war. We carry forward that spirit today through the expeditionary camp and convoy operation support through OEF, OIF, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief throughout EUCOM, AFRICOM, and PACOM, and now we're getting back to and sharpening our expeditionary advanced base and distributed maritime operations to continue to support the fleet in the now and the future. I look forward to Balpreet Singh joining our Corps. His commissioning is well-earned and well-deserved, and is a recognition of his exceptional capabilities as an engineer, a colleague, a leader, and a citizen. He is the type of officer needed in our Navy, dedicated to service and dedicated to action. And I am especially lucky and fortunate to be able to soon serve with him in our Corps, soon to be a shipmate, and throughout all of this as my friend. I will now welcome the official party to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, our national anthem, and invocation. Military members of the audience, please remain covered for the duration. Side boys, post. Major Simrat Paul Singh, United States Army, arriving. Ensign Select, Balpreet Singh Randhawa, arriving. Advance the colors. Retire the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Salinder Singh will now deliver the invocation.
I would like to share this Sikh reading with all of you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Khalsa belongs to Vaheguru Almighty, and victory, Fateh, also belongs to the Vaheguru only, the God. And I will sing the Sikh anthem. Deshva barmo hai shubh karman te kabhu na taro. O God, grant me this, that I may not hesitate from performing good deeds. Na daro arso jab jaye laro, nischay kare apni jeet karo. May I not fear the enemy and face my challenges, so I attain success. और सिख हो अपने ही मन को, एह लालच हो गुण तो उचरा। I may give this instructions to my mind and have this desire that I may ever utter God praises. जब आग की याद निधान बने अत ही रण में तब जूझ मरा. When the end of my life comes, then I may die fighting the battlefield, in the battlefield for nation, for the mankind, to protection of freedom of justice, freedom of religion, whether it is battlefield of life or for the nation. Now I would like to pray, O Vaheguru, please bless your son, Balpreet Singh, that he may stay firm but humble at all times while serving humanity. Give him strength and enlightenment to serve the nation with honesty and ultimate commitment. Now every Sikh conclude the prayers with saying, Nanak Naam, Chardhi Kala, Tere Bhane, Sarbat da Bhala. Nanak says, with your name comes prosperity, and with your blessing, peace for all, peace for everyone. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The military may now uncover. Our guest speaker today is Major Simratpal Singh. Major Singh is currently the Battalion Operations Officer for the 317th Brigade Engineer Battalion in Fort Johnson, Louisiana. Originally from Kent, Washington, Major Singh graduated from the United States Military Academy in West Point in 2010 and has honorably served the Engineer Regiment for over 13 years. His roles include Assistant Brigade Engineer and Combat Engineer Platoon Leader in the 2nd Stryker BCT, supporting Operation Enduring Freedom in Kandahar, Afghanistan. As a route clearance platoon leader, he executed over 180 combat patrols to clear routes while also completing base force protection and route engineering efforts in the Shah Walijat province. Major Singh has also served as an assistant operations officer responding to and supporting FEMA and disaster relief efforts for 3 real-world disasters, Hurricanes Matthew, Harvey, and Maria. Additionally, Major Singh has been an instructor and assistant professor of economics and finance at the United States Military Academy, where he was also a co-lead for leadership, ethics, and diversity in STEM, as well as the officer in charge of the investment club. Most recently, and prior to his current role, Major Singh completed the Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Major Singh was a trailblazer in his own right, getting the approvals to be able to wear the articles of his Sikh faith, and inspired and mentored Balpreet throughout. We are honored with your presence here today, Major Singh, and thank you very much for your participation in this important event and instant select Randhawa's career and path to military service. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Major Singh.
Thank you, Commander Fletcher. Appreciate the kind words. As I was mentioning earlier, I've been in many Army commissioning and promotion ceremonies throughout my career. This one definitely takes the cake. Hats off to the team's efforts, and I got to begrudgingly give credit to the Navy where it's due. Good afternoon, Captain Hill, Ms. Nash, other distinguished guests, Balpreet's teammates, friends, and family. What a momentous occasion. I'm grateful to be amongst you all for this celebration. I'll briefly address 3 sections of the audience here today. Balpreet, his current and future Navy teammates, and then the community members that are here. First, Balpreet, your perseverance has paid off. While I know you and I were talking about this for a couple years now, seems like only yesterday when we were at a mutual friend's wedding and your mom, concerned as any mother would be, was trying to convince me to get you to change your mind about joining the profession of arms. And here we are now. Clearly, I'm not very persuasive. While the Navy is not new for you, I think the profession of arms and the duties mentioned in the oath that we're going to take here encompass some additional responsibilities in defense of the Constitution. The military oath that you're about to take is an implicit commitment to the ordered application of force. You'll be expected to forge a path through darkness of uncertainty under the weight of irreversible consequences, not only for yourself, but for your team. I know you will be up for the challenge. That being said, there is no switch that turns on once you commission. In reality, no one rises to the occasion. We all fall back to our training and discipline. As cliche as it sounds, focus on the basic stuff. Focus on the essentials. Focus with discipline, and you'll get there. The devotion and humility with which you have pursued the life of being a Sikh will serve you well in honing your craft as a military officer. Secondly, to Balpreet's current and future teammates within the Navy. I'm sure you already know, but I'll echo it here again. You are getting a capable leader of character. General McChrystal in his book, Team of Teams, says, in complex environments, resilience often spells success, while even the most brilliantly engineered, fixed solutions are often insufficient or counterproductive. I have been witness to Balpreet's resilience and ability to navigate the complex environment of getting in line with the Navy's uniform policy and Sikh traditions. I knew he was onto something when he was asking questions that hadn't been asked for the last decade by even lawyers that have been working on this campaign for a decade on how we go about pursuing the right course. Despite the occasional setbacks, his competence and dedication to purpose reaffirmed trust. That trust in turn invigorated purpose, a key cycle for forging any team. All that to say, if you ever want to loan him to the Army engineer community, we'd be happy to have him. Finally, to the community members and fellow Americans present here today, have no doubts, Balpreet's ability to lead our nation's most precious capability, its sons and daughters, is unquestioned. As we remember our fallen going into Memorial Day weekend, amongst all the heroes, I pay tribute to Sergeant First Class Barrett McNabb. He was a squad leader in my platoon, and he passed away in Afghanistan in 2012. I hope Balpreet never has to, but I am confident he can honorably shoulder the burden and the responsibility of leading a team in such turbulent situations. For members of the Sikh community, we often jump to the first in this or first in that. I understand the desire to celebrate and exemplify extraordinary achievements. But in addition to asking first, we should also ask, is he good at his profession? Is he competent? Can we trust Balpreet to lead my son or daughter in combat? And those of us who know him personally know that we can trust him. I'll close with hoping to see all of you at future celebrations for Balpreet's career. Go Army. And for this special event until the Army-Navy game in December, go Navy as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to commission Balpreet Singh. Ensign Select Randhawa, please join Major Singh at center stage. Major Singh, over to you, sir.
I say the full name. I, Balpreet Singh, having been appointed ensign in the United States Navy,
Having been appointed an ensign in the United States Navy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign or domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
If I could please have Ensign Randhawa's family join him on stage to pin Ensign Randhawa with his rank insignia and jacket devices.
Okay, we'll put the jacket on and we'll take off your
All right, thank you very much. Let's get a round of applause. Ensign Randhawa there. I'd like to now invite Major Singh back up to sign the official commissioning documents with Ensign Randhawa. if I can please have Master Chief Michael Sanguinet please join Ensign Randhawa at center stage for the first salute. All right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ensign Balpreet Singh, Randhawa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me on this very momentous occasion in my life. I hope you guys can hear me. I have issues with public speaking. I get a little nervous. I have 4 sheets of paper up here. Sat down for many days trying to write a speech. I couldn't concentrate, so I'm just gonna wing this one. I would like to thank Captain Hill, Miss Emily Nash, our Deputy Program Manager, for being here. Thank you for missing class on my behalf. I really appreciate it, ma'am. I appreciate that leadership from you. Thank you very much for my fellow PMS 394 employees. I called you guys employees. I apologize, my fellow colleagues at PMS 394 who are also friends. Thank you for being here, making the ceremony very great. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to Lieutenant Commander Fletcher for setting up this amazing commissioning ceremony. I don't think there's an ensign past, present, or even in the future that has a ceremony like this. I really appreciate your efforts, sir, and I am proud to join you in the Civil Engineering Corps. So I would like to take a moment and remember my brother, Balpreet Singh. He's not with us today, but I'd like to think he would be proud to see his brother leading the Seabees. It was his dream and aspiration to be a United States Marine Corps member. But I hope he's at least happy that I'm tangentially associated with the U.S. Marine Corps, standing up here as part of the Civil Engineering Corps. So as I mentioned, I don't have a good speech written down, but there is an overwhelming sense of gratitude that I'm feeling here. I want to thank the Lord Almighty for His blessings and guidance, helping me navigate life and all its challenges, helping me accomplish really every single goal that I've ever put my mind towards. I thank the Lord for giving me the good sense and guidance, and really good people that have surrounded me to help me achieve all my life's desires and goals. Many times I often think that I am the luckiest man in the world, that due to the company I have, I am elevated just like the rest of them. They help me get to higher and higher places, and they help me achieve my goals. I am profoundly grateful to my parents for their unwavering encouragement, support, and motivation. Mom and Dad, I stand here today as a testament to your love and dedication. You have devoted your lives to providing your children with an exceptional quality of life filled with enriching experiences, travel, exposure to diverse cultures, and boundless love. More importantly, you have spent your lives nurturing us into kind, caring, hardworking, and industrious individuals. You have instilled in me the values of truth, compassion, contentment, humility, love, respect, tolerance, equality, justice, and service to humanity. All my successes and achievements are a reflection of your efforts and sacrifices. I'm incredibly fortunate to have such supportive parents, and I count this as one of my greatest blessings. I think my words may fall short in expressing my gratitude, but please know that my gratitude runs very deep. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to give thanks to my sister as well, who's proudly served in the United States Air Force as a combat medic from 2009 to 2012. Jasmine, you've always believed I could do anything I put my mind to. You've always been a cheerleader and my biggest supporter, so thank you for that. Thank you for believing in me. I also want to express my deepest gratitude to my fiancée, Sanveer, for lending me her ear throughout the year-long application process. Your constant encouragement through every high and low has kept me on target. I am thankful for your support, and I'm glad that we share a common vision for our future. Thank you for standing by me. I would also like to thank Giselle, who is a friend of mine, who's not here today, unfortunately. She works with an organization called the Sikh Coalition, and she has been instrumental in helping me draft the language for which I was able to get my religious accommodation approved by the United States Navy. And I also want to thank Major Simranpal Singh for commissioning me here today, and Master Chief Sanguine for being here and rendering me my first salute. I truly cannot thank you guys enough. I actually remember back in 2020, we were on the U.S. Harriers Truman. Master Chief and I were on the mess decks. I think it was 17, 18, 1900 probably, as it usually went. And I remember speaking to him and expressing my desire, like, hey, Master Chief, I'm thinking about joining the Navy. And without a beat, he's like, hey, that's great. I would salute you, right? Yeah, I think he must be some sort of a fortune teller, because here we are, I think, 4 years later, sir, Master Chief, and you've saluted me successfully. So, yeah. So this naval journey has really begun due to my mother. I was a senior at George Mason University studying electrical engineering. I've been to a few job fairs where I was being offered IT jobs and other jobs that required 3 to 5 years of experience. I had experience, but not like work experience. So I had college experience. They didn't want my experience. So I decided that I would no longer go to the jobs fairs because they were a waste of my time. And I remember telling my mother that I wasn't going to go to this job fair. But as luck would have it, she told me to go anyway, because you never know what you might find. And there's a lesson here. You got to listen to your mother. So I went. I went and I talked to all the defense contractors. We have the General Dynamics, the Northrop Grummans, the Boeings of the world. There's huge lines of students wanting to speak to these people. And I was like, all right, I'll speak to them since I'm here anyway. And then I noticed a recruiting booth, right? Nobody's there. There's no students. There's three people there. I thought they looked a little bit sad. They had pictures of photos. They're pictures of photos. They had photos of ships, right? And I thought to myself, hey, I like ships. There's some language about naval nuclear propulsion. And I was like, well, I'm waiting in line to talk to General Dynamics. Might as well talk to these recruiters and see what they have to say. They look a little sad. Let me go, talk to them. So I'll go talk to them, and when you know it, they were like, hey, this is amazing. We work at a shipyard. This is great. We live in the shipyard. We have no lives. We work so much overtime. This is great. I mean, you get to work on the deck plates. You get to be on the ship. They're really selling this Norfolk Naval Shipyard to me. And I was like, yeah, this sounds great. Well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna go talk to General Dynamics now. They were like, sir, do you not want to interview with us? And I was like, you guys are in Norfolk. I'm not traveling to Norfolk for an interview. They're like, no, we can do it now. We can do it tomorrow. So like, all right, we'll do it tomorrow. So next thing I know, I moved to Norfolk, and I was sitting in reactor plant fundamentals. My friend here, Marina, who started, in 2016 with me at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. And I remember those days, sitting in class, learning all about the Navy's nuclear propulsion program. While at the shipyard, I qualified as a Director Instrumentation and Controls Engineer on A4W platform, which is aircraft carriers. I'd also studied the SSN platform, the fast attack platforms, the ballistic missile submarines as well, and qualified as radiological controls engineer on all these platforms. And I really enjoyed, the technicality, the grit and determination it takes to make things work. Everything's always late in the shipyard. Ships have to go and deploy. There's a sense of purpose that is hard to replicate, right? And as a young man, I think most folks, right, at a certain age, they're looking for that purpose in their lives. They want to know what's next. What am I doing? Is what I'm doing today, does it matter? What impact does it have, right? And I remember one day at 24 years old, I'm on the USS Eisenhower, CVN 69. And it's, again, one of those late hours. And I remember signing orders and production, they're like, all right. And they went ahead and executed everything. And I had been doing this for a few weeks, but that day it really hit me that I was just by myself, a 24-year-old Balpreet running around on an aircraft carrier, signing orders, and they're doing them. And that really kind of made me stop in my tracks a little bit. And I realized, I was like, wow, that's quite a bit of the responsibility that I got on my shoulders. I really should understand what I'm doing, right? And I think I did, right? But it really drove that point home, this concept of ownership, right? Which my division head, Mr. Webb, who unfortunately is not here with us today, it was something that he had tried to convey and make sure I understood, was this concept of ownership. The fact that everything I say and do is something that I'm responsible for. That sounds very, very basic, sounds very obvious. I was like, yeah, I'll take ownership of my actions. I promise you, we don't take ownership of our actions a lot of the times. We try to, either skirt that ownership, shift the blame if needed, or justify our actions instead of taking ownership a lot of times. So there's a lot of crucial, critical conversations that 24-year-old Balpreet had to endure, is the word I would use. It's not easy being told that what you did was not right, that what you did was not correct, that you should have done better, you should have known better. You're the engineer on the deck plate. What do you mean so-and-so, Oh, but sir, the director of department, the senior chief and the director of department, it's like, I don't care, who's the engineer? That's me, sir. So it's a lot of learning moments, right? That a lot of times that kind of really led me to almost, question my judgment. Or really, I remember speaking to my friend Marina about this a few times, and I'm really thankful I had her over there to support me through this. I think a crucible is a good way to put that. Just intense amounts of pressure on ships that I have to go, so she really was there for me the whole time and was able to help me process and understand the information, and really just lend me her ear, right? So again, back to gratefulness, right? I'm grateful that Marina was there. Thank you, Marina, for being there during my my hard times, and thank you for being here today with your daughter Milana. I remember Milana was 2 years old when I first met her, and now she's, I think, 9, 10, 11, 10. She's 10 years old now, so that means I'm getting old as well. But thank you so much for everything you've done for me. So back to the impact, right? I decided that I wanted to know it all. I'll be a subject matter expert in nuclear propulsion, and I think I was, right? If you ask me, I was. Once you become SME and things, people start thinking you're a good leader. Now you're in charge of teams. Now you're leading divisions, and they're like, well, we need this availability done. We need to do this. Why don't you go ahead and take care of that? Me, I was like, of course, I got it, sir. Don't worry about it. Don't call me. I'll call you when it's done, right? There's a lot of crucial conversations that caused as well. There's a chain of command here. you need to keep us informed of progress, right? And it says, you know, Frank's here. We worked in the shipyard together, and he's a senior NCO in the United States Army. He's retired now, but thank you for being here, sir. That's another thing I have to unlearn. The rank structure is backwards in my head. Thanks, Mom, for sir and ma'am. You know, entire time I've just gonna keep mess it up a little bit. All right, but back to it. You know, so Frank was instrumental in you know, imparting many lessons, as senior NCOs often do. And I remember losing my temper at him once, and never again. And he didn't even yell at me or anything. I just knew I was wrong. Because again, you know, my parents taught me better. You fess up to your mistakes, you learn. But anyway, Frank was invaluable in helping me navigate, you know, the availabilities as a planning engineer. Really helping understand, you know, the impact and the value of keeping your chain of command informed. You know, you want your chain of command off your back. You need to tell them. You need to keep them informed, so that they have good confidence in your abilities to do what you're supposed to be doing down there. So keep them informed. That was a good lesson I learned from Frank Strata. Thank you for being here. I'm glad our friendship has continued even after I've left the shipyard many years ago. So yeah, back to being a good leader. I thought I was a good leader now because, you know, I'm unafraid of taking on challenges and I know it all. So, well, that was fine until it wasn't. It was fine on the carriers, bigger divisions, a lot of experience, good mix of senior engineers, good mix of journeyman engineers and younger engineers. That all stopped when I went to the USS San Francisco. You know, submarine, there's an engineering department. There is no reactor department that is separate from engineering department. It's all one. Smaller divisions now. It's the beginning of COVID. I want to say this is January, February 2020. I'm tasked with the grooming of the USS San Francisco, which basically means you energize the reactor plant instrumentation and control suite, and you bring it on board so we can take watch standing from temporary maneuvering and move it back to the ship. And this is all in support of moving that ship back to Charleston, where it's used to train, you know, our sailors in the nuclear propulsion training pipeline. So, you know, it's beginning of COVID. I am the team leader there. I have engineers this is their first ship, never set foot on a ship, don't know a ship, seen one of the movies. So they're unqualified, untrained, and a lot of them are very shy, right? And just kind of timid, right? Afraid of ship's force, I would say. So I had quite a challenge on my hands, you know. So at that point, you know, there's a choice that I had to make. Do I just get angry at these engineers who don't know any better because they've had no experience, or do I train them to be better? Do I take ownership of my team, really? Because ownership extends to you, but it also extends to your team, right? So in our case, right here in PMS 394, it extends to our contractors, our shipbuilders, our fleet partners. So in the shipyard, you know, it's us and the ship's force, and our divisions. So how do I get this team of people that are here today? These are the folks I have. How do I teach them? So I started at the beginning. They're afraid, they're timid. So let's take them to the ship, introduce them to the ship's force, talk about the relationship, have them shadow me at all these senior leadership meetings where they understand how watch turnover works, right? So it's fun hours at 0600 in the morning when you're supposed to be on the deck plates, not driving in, not in the parking lot, but on the deck plate, doing watch turnover with ship's force, understanding the plant evolutions that they have scheduled. So they're slowly coming out of the shells, they're understanding that. I'm giving them training on reactor plant manuals, the hierarchy of documents, where does the tech manual stand, where's the reactor plant manual stand, right? Understanding and explaining to them how troubleshooting works, the basic fundamentals of test equipment, right? Doing all of that stuff, teaching them as I wish somebody would have taught me. You know, my training was on-the-job training. That means you're on the deck plate, you will figure it out, you're a grown-up, which is fine, you know, it's good. And certain personalities, it's fine for them. But we risk losing our most valuable resource, which is peoples, as the Major has alluded to it before. The most valuable resource, you know, in this country, frankly, is its people. So, you know, not every person is a ENTJ commander type person. There are many people that are soft-spoken. There are many people that are not traditionally, you know, charismatic. Does that mean that what they have to say should be discounted? The answer is no. You know, we do ourselves a huge disservice by ignoring the people that we think don't have it. So you know, young Balpreet is learning a lot on the job here. So I'm training them, and they're learning how to. They go from asking me every single thing. Sir, do I do this? Hey, how do I hang isolation? Do I do this? Do I do this? To, hey, I think these are the different courses of action I can take. Which one do you think I should take? To then going from, hey, these are the 3 different courses of actions I have. I think I'm going to take this one. Is that okay? To then going towards, these are the courses of action, and I'm going to choose this one because of this and this and this. You know, so I think it was about 2 months, you know, in San Francisco, where we're all, you know, we're quarantined together essentially. Couldn't go home, really. Couldn't leave without a 50-mile radius. Some restrictions in place, but yeah, so they learned, right? And then I felt like for lack of a better term, I felt like a father to them, almost, right? Where I'm like teaching them how to do stuff, but also had to listen to their problems, most of which were not about work at all. So I'm like, okay, you know, all right, this is okay, but you know, it's a whole person, right? So there's things outside of work. They're worried about their families. They're worried about their pets. There's a lot of uncertainty in this coronavirus epidemic, right? So yeah, I learned how to listen. You know, this is something that Marina had tried to tell me many years ago. Is like, you know, you think you know it all, but you know, you need to listen, right? I think my mom was the same way, actually. Actually, a lot of people are the same way. I think I just need to stop talking and start listening more. But yeah, it finally sunk in, right? When faced with no choice but to take ownership of them and actually grow up and take positive feedback, negative and positive feedback, because you know that's the way feedback works. It's both positive and negative. I don't like the negative one, but that's the one we need to concentrate on so that we can, you know, get better. So yeah, they went from new engineers to requesting to be on the ship, and I was like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, why do you want to be on a ship? It's long hours and stuff. But they developed a sense of ownership of their work, and really got a sense of purpose out of it. So they requested repeatedly to come down. So when I moved to the USS Truman, where Master Chief was on, in late 2020, I had these engineers call me and request to be on my trouble desk, request to be on the deck plates multiple times. And guess what? My job was easy after that. You know, I know Mr. Bukowski thinks I'm a great delegator, but you know, I am. They wanted it, and I gave it to them, right? So once they take ownership, it was amazing to see them, you know, flourish, right? And I think as a leader and as an officer, that's the question and challenge that, you know, an officer faces is how to mold your people, your troops, into you know, an image of yourself in a way that they think like you, they act like you, they would do what you would want them to do without you having to tell them that you want them to do so and so. So it takes a lot of I would say, you know, effective communication, right? It takes a lot of listening. You got to listen more. You know, you got to listen to your senior NCOs as well. So I'm listening. So yeah, so I think that was what made me, you know, I think a leader, and it was less, you know, chesty be puller, go do this, do that, you know, less knife hands, you know, and it was more like, okay, yeah, well, what do you think we should do over here? So it's a little bit of, it's not like in the movies, is what I'm trying to say here, right? Leadership is a little more nuanced than that. There's a time and place for knife hands. That's not every day though, right? they lose their effect if you pull them out every day. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So for somebody that doesn't have a speech, I sure talk a lot. But to kind of bring it back to the CBs, right? Which I was watching a documentary, and they described a CB as a soldier in a sailor's uniform with Marine training. I like the sound of that. All right, and I think they're the epitome of resilience and ingenuity, right? And more importantly, I think they're the backbone of military infrastructure, right? Turning adversity into opportunity wherever they deploy. They transform barren landscapes into operational bases, hospitals, airfields, weapons depots, like they did in the Pacific. So we're going to continue that. That's good stuff. We're going to keep it up. Their unwavering dedication and can-do attitude, right, leaves a legacy wherever they go, and people remember them, and they wish they, I think they wish they were a CB. I certainly do, and now I am. So that's great. So in closing, I want to bring it together into this concept of Chardi Kala, right? In Sikh philosophy, there's this thing called Chardi Kala, and Chardi means rising, Kala means like rising spirit. So a Sikh is supposed to be in Chardi Kala always, right? That doesn't mean that their life is easy. They're not under attack and at risk of their very existence, right? It just means that they are always in high spirits, no matter what the what the prevailing winds are. They have embraced the suck, right? Once you embrace the suck, once you embrace your lot in life, you can decide what you're going to do to it. So instead of things happening to you, you happen to things, right? And I think the CBs are the epitome of, Chardi Kala, right? These warriors make do with what they got, and they will beg, borrow, and steal, but they'll get the job done. And I'm eternally thankful for the Civil Engineering Corps in offering me a commission. I'm very happy to be here. It's it's a moment in my life that I will treasure forever, made all the more special by people that are here, right? If there were no people, you can have nice things, but you can't have friends, right? So it's about the people, right? Again, being a leader is about people, about embracing people, about being humble. It's actually most of it's being humble and knowing to recognize when you're wrong, and correcting yourself. And so these are the lessons I've learned, in the shipyards, working with the sailors on the fleet, from senior NCOs, from Master Chief here. One of the things I remember about the Truman is not the amazing first of its kind availability that we pulled off. It's his, he used to keep us Starburst gummy worms and eggs, right? So he kept gummy candy, and that to me was what I remember. I remember his smile, his calm demeanor throughout, a very challenging and tough availability, right? And that's my takeaway from that is I remember that. And I remember commanding officer, I think he's Rear Admiral Hakimzadeh, right? Who was supposed to be here, but he's taken over Carrier Strike Group. So he's on road to take command at sea. I remember their kindness. I remember them taking me under their wing. I remember what they said to me. What I don't remember is all the challenges that we faced, all the the late nights, all the fights I had with Frank, and the project team and my own engineers and all the pain. I don't remember that. I remember how people made me feel. And you can bet people are going to remember how I made them feel, how I talked to them. And that's a lesson, again, that my friend Marina and my mother have tried time and time again to make sure I understand. And I think I get it now. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ensign Randhawa. I'd like to now invite Ensign Randhawa's mother, Mrs. Devinder Kaur, to the stage for remarks.
So today I'm here along with family, friends, Parkinson's, co-workers, colleagues, officers, that you are all here. Thank you so much for attending the commissioning ceremony of Balpreet Singh today. And thanks to the oneness, the universal force for this beautiful day and nice weather today, we are together here on this platform, and I say thank you to the people who have come from far and near to celebrate this beautiful occasion. And also my thanks goes to this nation. This land is full of opportunities where you can expand your potential. Opportunities are there. You just have to strive for it. Make a goal, work constantly towards your goal, and you get it. And parents, being a parent, I am very proud of Balpreet Singh for his vision. And as he has already told you about the values that we have in the family system, as well as he learned as he has his journey on his job, everywhere he goes, that's I always tell him that you need to, if you want to be a learner, Sikh is a learner. Sikh means a learner. So if you learn in your life, there is nothing that you can't achieve. So if you listen, if you learn, and if you work towards it, you will get it. So he did it. I also do have a family background of armed forces in India. My brother, he has served in 61 Engineer Corps, and he retired as a colonel. And now my nephew he just became in this month a commanding officer in communication systems back in India. It takes a lot of time, I agree. When we plant a seed, the seed has really go through a period of darkness before it becomes a plant and it blooms. So Balpreet has a long-lasting desire to be an officer in the armed forces of US. So he's honest, he's faithful, he's obedient, and we are very proud that we are his parents. He respects his family, friends, and also involved in the religious practice of his faith. And he loves everyone. All the time he has a smile on his face. So we are all here to celebrate his success. Thank you so much for being here. Our Prophet Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, God help those who help themselves. So he's a perfect example of that. And I especially going to thank Mr. Fletcher, Mr. Michael Sangne, and Mr. Simratpal Singh. They are especially here to do his commissioning. So thank you so much for your participation in this event, and I would like that if you give a round of applause to all these officers and to Balpreet Singh Randhawa. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all of you that you are here. You took your time out and you came here to join us. Thank you so much. And we have once the ceremony is over, please join us for the food and drinks. Once again, thank you so much.